Kia makina kina ki uta, kia matara ki tai, e ake ana tiata kura, e tio, e uga, e ho, ti maori. Thank you. We're here tonight to swear in the council, but we have I think the song and other from Kapapa group. So when get up there, awesome.
Kiraro, Ope, Kamaua ke tonu e, ko te pirika.
Ko te whirika o te taura takata, aha ko aina e te rua, whitikina e te tau kaya o te ahuha, kia maua ke tonu e.
Ka eke mai,
Ka eke mai,
he manene,
e manene,
tararaire,
I te rara,
o te hui e.
o te hui e.
Ka eke mai,
Ka eke mai,
he manene,
e manene,
tararaire,
I te rara,
o te hui e.
o te hui e.
Ko te pirika.
Ko te whirika o te taura takata, aha ko aina e te rua, whitikina e te rā, te tau kaya o te ahuha, kia maua ke tonu e.
Ka tata mai,
Ka tata mai,
ka piri e.
Ini e tino te here o te whānau e.
Ka tata mai,
Ka tata mai,
ka piri e.
ka piri e tino te here o te whānau e.
Ko te pirika.
Ko te whirika o te taura takata, aha ko aina e te rua, whitikina e te rā, te tau kaya o te ahuha, kia maua ke tonu e.
Kia mau.
Kia maua ke tonu e.
Kia mau.
Ia wari.
Kiraro. Kiraro. Ope. Tahar poteke!
Maraka maraka.
Tahar poteke!
Maraka maraka. Tene te uru te koi. Tihai. Mawhiti whiti. Tihai. Maraka. Te ūpapa nui o te rū. Te heko. Heko. Hea. Kia watea.
Tahar poteke!
Maraka maraka.
Tahar poteke!
Maraka maraka. Tene te koi koi ne tihai. Mawhiti whiti. Tihai. Maraka raka. Te ūpapa nui o te rūru. Te heko. 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 Hea. Kia watea.
Auraki!
Matatu. Hei.
We'd just like to take the opportunity to address the students of Amberley School. And thank you very much for coming along this evening to start our induction process for council beginning this year for 3 years. And I did look up the Amberley School website to check in what your values were in your school and how you those values. And I note that your school values were to be your personal best, to respect and show integrity and determination and enjoyment. And I reflected about these wonderful people that are starting a new journey along with myself as we do the very best and actually use some of the values that you have in your school within this council chamber. So we actually have a role in front of us to do the very best we can do on behalf of the district that we serve. So you have sent us a challenge here today, and I honour that challenge, and I expect that we will live up to your values as well as our values as well. I just want to say I'm looking forward to the opportunity that sits in front of us as a council, and I'm really pleased to have you as part of our district so that we can call on you to help us along our cultural journey, and you can support us through that as well. So thank you, Michaela, for coming along. I really want to share my gratitude with you as the students, and you performed exceptionally well. So thank you very much. But we've got a job to do now. We've got to start the meeting. So lovely. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, students. Everyone say Right, so we just need to arrange a bit of furniture now and get out so we can start our business for today. An engineer there.
Someone did it measure twice.
Right. Yes. That's awesome. Thank you. Right, all good to go.
Yep. Welcome, everybody. We're here today to conduct the inaugural meeting of the council and swear in the new council. I'm Hamish Dobby, I'm the Chief Executive of the council, and once every 3 years I get to chair the meeting briefly. So I will chair the meeting until the Mayor's made her attestation and declaration. So that's the first item of the business, is for the Mayor to read the declaration and for it to be signed.
Thank you.
I say to you, Murray.
Thank you, Hamish. I, Mariana Black, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of the Hiranui district the powers, authorities and duties invested in or imposed upon me as Mayor of the Hiranui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act of 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Thank you.
And now the mayor is being sworn in. You're in the chair, Murray.
Excellent.
I'll carry on with the rest of the declarations.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Right, so I've got the rest of the declarations here for the councillors, and they are not in any order, they're completely random. As it turns out, the first one is Councillor Brewerton, certainly Councillor Brewerton.
I, Robert Dearness Brewerton, declare that I'll faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Hiranui district the powers, authorities and duties vested in and imposed upon me as a member of the Hiranui Council by virtue of the Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, and any other act.
Tom Davies.
I, Tom Davies, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Hiranui district the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as member of the Hiranui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Stop. Fiona Harris.
I, Fiona Jane Harris, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Hiranui district the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hiranui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Vanessa McPherson.
I, Vanessa Mary McPherson, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Hiranui district the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as member of the Hiranui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Vince Daly.
I, Vincent John Daly, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Hiranui district the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Hiranui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act, or any other act.
Pauline White.
I, Pauline Ann White, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Huronui District powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as member of the Huronui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Put an order around the table. Ross Barnes.
Thanks, Hamish. With the surname Barnes, I'm usually first in the queue, but it must be down the track. I, Ross Norman Barnes, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Huronui District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Huronui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Have you got a special pen for me? Got mine if you want.
Thank you, Ben.
I don't have a badge. Do I keep holding?
Yeah, keep going.
Dave Hislop.
I, David Keith Hislop, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of the Huronui District the powers, authorities and the duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Huronui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, and any other act.
Thanks, Dave. Gary Jackson.
I, Gary Stewart Jackson, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Huronui District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Huronui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002 and the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Karen Armstrong.
I, Karen Isabel Armstrong, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Huronui District the powers, authorities and duties invested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Huronui District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
No, you can do that and then we'll. get back into it.
So there is one other duty incumbent upon me before you can officially act as councillors, and that is that I'm required to give you a legislation brief, which you'll find attached in your papers on page 3. The report contains a general explanation of some specific pieces of legislation which I'm required to inform you of, as required in the Local Government Act 2002. There are 5 pieces of legislation covered in the paper, as well as the health and safety legislation and the Local Government Pecuniary Interest Register Amendment 2022 that are of particular interest to the council. And you've been requested to read those. These are the primary acts that, that dictate how we go about our business, but there are multiple other acts that impinge on what we do in implementations or require us to do that. I don't intend to go through these acts in any detail. I will just simply outline what the acts are and take the paper as read. So there's the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, which is outlined on page 4. The Local Authorities Members of Interests Act 1968, page 5. And also noting that the Local Authorities Members of Interest Act 1968, there's a guide available from the Auditor General. The Crimes Act 1961. Page 6, the Secret Commissions Act 1910. Financial Markets Conduct Act 2013, which are the 5 acts covered, but also of particular relevance, the Health and Safety at Work Act 2015. And I know under the Health and Safety at Work Act, although the council has obligations under the Act and liabilities under the Act, as elected councillors, you do not have personal liabilities under that Act. The Local Government Pecuniary Interest Register Amendment Act 2022, which has just recently been passed, which requires you to provide a list of your pecuniary interests. So we will be seeking that and providing a form on that one. So those are the particular acts and the brief explanations there. We will cover them in some more detail during the induction program over the next few weeks as well. Part of my role is to advise you of your responsibilities under these acts. So if you have any questions about any of these things at any time, you can ask me and I will endeavour to find an answer to your question. So I'm simply asking you to note that those this information has been provided, and my recommendation is that the information is received.
Thank you, Hamish, for that. And yes, as a team of councillors, we will get a lot more familiar about these acts that guide us and the principles of good governance as time goes on. So thank you for that. Can I just ask that, are you clear on the information you have received? And if so, someone like to move that we receive that information? Thank you, Vince. You're happy to move. Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Karen. Any other questions? All in agreement that we receive that information, please say aye. Aye. Those against? That motion is carried. Thank you, Hamish, for that. And that allows me to continue with today's agenda, correct?
Correct. And in fact, now that all councillors are sworn in and have been informed about the legal obligations, they can now act as councillors.
Correct. Thank you. So we will continue with the items of agenda today. There are 3 decision items that we have in front of us today. But before I do that, I'm aware that there is no apologies for today, but we do need to go through that procedural, that there are no apologies received for today's meeting. So I'm sure that you're, we've moved, seeing that, right, Grant? Still learning, thank you. But I will read the affirmation for our visitors here today. An affirmation is something that we read ahead of all council agendas. It helps us to be prepared for the items of significance that we have as a council, and it allows us to, I guess, have a moment of silence and be joined in our thinking towards the agendas that are ahead of our council. And it reads, we pledge that we will faithfully and impartially use our skills, wisdom and judgment through the discussions and deliberations ahead of us today in order to make responsible and appropriate decisions for the benefit of Hiranui District at large. We commit individually and as council to the principles of integrity and respect, and to upholding the values that we believe distinguish and enrich our district. Thank you. So having read the affirmation, just in regard to today's agenda, councillors, can I just be aware that there is no conflict of interest declarations ahead of us in regard to today's agenda items? Thank you. And just for health and safety, given that we have got some visitors in this room today, should we need to exit the building, follow the wee green man and out the door to our left, or this door here, our assembly point is over by the St. John's Hall on the grass. And as our normal progress, our meetings are being live streamed this evening, and all of our councils are live streamed. Any other details there, Grant?
No, that's it.
That's it. Thank you. So I will take you to page 9 on the agenda, which is our requirement at our first meeting as we form as a triennium, and that's for the election of the Deputy Mayor. Graham, this is your paper, so if you can take us through that, and then we'll follow the due process. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'll just explain the process. As mentioned, this is a requirement for the first meeting of the council to elect a Deputy Mayor. The first point to note is that the Mayor under the Local Government Act has a range of powers, which are part of the powers of the Mayor to provide leadership and direction to the council. And the Mayor can appoint the Deputy Mayor, but on this occasion, Mayor Black has decided not to use those powers. And in that case, it falls on the council to elect the Deputy Mayor. And as the report explains, there's a process in the Local Government Act for doing that. It provides 2 different voting systems, which are kind of rudimentary preferential voting systems, System A and System B. We tend to recommend System A because that requires a candidate to get a majority of support of the council, whereas the System B only requires that you get more votes than any other candidate. So, System A is a bit more robust in that you need a majority of support for your deputy mayor. So that's why we recommend, but the council can choose to go with System B if they prefer. If there's a I'll just explain the process with those systems is depending on the number of candidates, you vote for each candidate, and if there's no clear winner after the first round, the bottom placed candidate drops off and you have another round. So that's the preferential nature of it until you get someone with the right number to be elected. If there's a tie, the council has to determine how we resolve that, and we normally recommend that that's done by a toss of a coin. So if that's the case, then we've got a coin ready. And I'll toss it in the regulation style. I think you've got to get a certain number of rotations in the air, but we can deal with that. So there are the 3 processes for the council to agree to first before then calling for nominations and going through the voting process. So I think, Madam Mayor, that's probably all I need to say at this stage. If you'd like to discuss more about the role of the Deputy Mayor, thanks.
Sure, thank you, Graham, for that and taking us through the paper as we read it today. But Graham has articulated the system preference around the process to get a deputy mayor position nominated and duly elected. But I just want to share with you all some of the thoughts I consider. And I know that each councillor that's sitting around this table has the qualities to perform the role of deputy mayor. These qualities, and we've talked about qualities and values with the school students, and the qualities include, but not exclusive to, the pride in our district as a whole, maintaining the respect and integrity of our council. And I think that each one of us brings, when we walk in the door to attend these meetings, we all have that in our hearts and in our minds, so that we bring the very best to the district that we are serving currently. So I have that confidence, as I had confidence with our previous term, but actually I have confidence of this term going forward as well. So if there are questions of councillors around process, because as Graham has taken us through, we have an officer recommendation on page 9, which talks about me declining to use the powers of the Government Act to appoint, the preferential voting system, and the definition by quality of votes, or the toss of the coin, and the receipt of councillors elected for nominations for deputy mayor. So first and foremost, we need to go through that process before I call for nominations for deputy mayor. So are we all clear? Any further questions of councillors? If that was the case, would someone of the mind to move the recommendation as written on page 9 of our agenda? Thank you, Pauline. You're happy to move. Fiona, are you happy to second? No further questions. All in agreement that we use the officer recommendation as on page 9, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? That's carried. Thank you. So that takes us now when I'm able to receive nominations for the position of deputy mayor for this triennium. Fiona.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to nominate Vince Daly for the position. I just had to slip of the tongue. I think his knowledge and skills that he brings and has shared with us over the last term are highly valued, and I think he would make a good deputy mayor.
Thanks, Fiona. Vince, you happy to receive that nomination?
I am.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Ross, you're happy to second? Thank you. So that's two's process. Is there any other nominations for the position of deputy mayor?
I also nominate Vince.
Well, we've got that process
Oh,
in
I'm
place.
sorry.
Yeah, okay, so no, that's fine, Vanessa, that's so we've got the process, we've got a nomination and we've got a seconder, so I was calling for any other persons. If there are no further persons to be nominated for deputy mayor, and we have Vince willingly accepted that position, I close the nominations. Do I need to move in a second for that?
Yes, we just to resolve to appoint Councillor Daly as deputy mayor.
Right, someone like to do that? Thank you, Karen. Do I have a second for that? Thanks, Fiona. So we have that as a resolution that deputy mayor for this training will be in this position. So thank you. They're all in agreement to that. Please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? That's carried. Congratulations.
Thanks for the support.
Excellent. Okay, so for those of you sitting watching this process tonight, we do our next part of our agenda is that we need to go through a process to nominate the first meeting of the new triennium. And Graham, this is your paper again. It's pretty well explained, but maybe if you just talk us through it for the people that are sitting with us this evening.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, a very short one. May seem a bit strange because we're already in a council meeting, but one of the other things that is prescribed in the Act that the council has to do, this meeting is referred to as the first meeting following the triennial election, and then what we're referring to here is the first ordinary meeting of the council. So, the Act just requires that the council sets the first ordinary meeting. The council at this meeting could set its whole schedule for the coming rest of the year and the coming year, but we'll do that on the 1st of November once the government structure is in place. This is purely procedural to set the first meeting.
Thanks, Graham. That's,
It was short, then I've made it longer.
yeah, that's right. You know, we don't want to complicate these things, do we? But yeah, it is a process that we need to go through, particularly for new councillors around the table. And, it is something that is required of us to actually set that first meeting. At our first meeting on the 1st of November, we will get a full schedule of the entire year. So this is just a process. So I think it's been quite clear. It was very well written in our papers. Are there any questions of Graham as far as that goes? If not, I will ask if there is someone willing to move the officer recommendation on page 12 of the report. I would like to move that. Thank you, Graham. Graham, Gary. No, sorry, Gary. Do I have a seconder? Thanks. Ross, Tom. Oh, I'll get you sorted soon. Oh, goodness gracious. So we got Gary moved and Tom seconded. Any other questions? All in agreement to that, please say aye. Aye. Those against? That's carried. Thank you. Now we've actually got real business for those of you who are sitting watching us tonight. We have from time to time, we have requests from community groups to request a temporary road closure because an event is happening within our district. The timing of this probably sat best to come to this meeting. So Raywin is here. She will talk to this paper and then we need to make a decision about supporting the temporary road closure for an event coming up. But welcome, Raywin. It's lovely to have you with us. Do you want to just take us through this report on page 13 and we'll work through the due process?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for hearing this. It was very tight timing, unfortunately, and this is the first opportunity to put it to council. I'm happy with the report and happy to take any questions or any points for clarification.
Awesome. Thanks, Raywin. Pretty well set out in the report, but there may well be questions of councillors before we look at accepting the resolution on page 14 of the report. For those of you that are listening, this is for the Waipara Fireworks, which is a community event being held on the 4th of November, is that right? Friday, the 4th of November. And the reason for a portion of the road, Church Road, to be closed off is to allow access for emergency services on the night of the fireworks. So is that correct?
It's for a safety barrier zone for the fireworks from then. There's a requirement for a certain size fireworks to have a buffer, and this is how this is set up to. So no access by the public, and purely as a safety zone. That's a certified.
Awesome, thank you. Look, is there questions from councillors for clarification in this paper that you've read for this evening? All pretty clear. Okay, so we do have an officer recommendation on page 14, which suggests that council agree to approve the temporary road closure. Is any councillor of the mind to move? Fiona, are you happy to move that?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think it's a great event, well run, and has been successful over a number of years. Close to my heart.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Pauline. No further questions. All in agreement to receiving the recommendation on page 14, please say aye. Aye. Those against? That motion is carried. Thank you, Raywin. Appreciate the work that you're doing. So that does bring you to the end of tonight's meeting from a procedural perspective, but I would just like to say that I'm really delighted and looking forward to the next 3 years. We've come through the last 3 years with a lot of external interest on how we do things at our council and how we deliver services to the community that we serve. And I think that we've been extremely well led by our officers, our chief executive and our officers that we've got here this evening. We've got Jason, the chief financial officer, Judith Batchelor as the chief community and strategy officer, and chief operations officer Dan Harris down the back there, and we've got Graham and Michelle who lead us with their governance support with us this evening. Actually Anne as well, thank you Anne, and we've got Belle sitting down the back who provides us with expert communication advice. So, you know, I think we're very, very lucky as a council to have highly skilled, highly connected and people that actually want to do the best for the Hiranui at large. And I'm really pleased and proud to work with this team, but I'm also really extremely excited about bringing and forming this council so we can continue to deliver good services within our district. I don't see that the next 3 years will be any less challenging, that we've been on a journey and we're not there yet. So, you know, there will be some times when we need to challenge our inner self into why we're doing whatever we're doing, but with the opportunity to be connected and in relationship and always looking to our community as the place that will guide us to achieve the results that we're looking for, I think that we will do that with absolute integrity and respect in our focus. So thanks very much for those of you who put your name up, and thanks, and it's great to have you around the table. And I suspect that the 1st of November agenda will be much larger than this one, Graham. So with that, I will close the meeting. It's my understanding there's some delicious food out there. I heard on the grapevine that Hamish has been making sandwiches all day for us. So I suspect it will be worthy of us to sit down and enjoy each other's company and get to know each other, and look forward to what the future holds. So thank you very much. Meeting is closed. Thank you, Graham. Right,